Greetings and salutations everybody, my name is MiAh the King, and welcome to another one of my patented First Impressions review. What's a First Impressions review? Well, it's not a First Impressions video, or a review video. Instead, it's a combination of the two. I take a first look at the game, but spend almost 2 hours doing so. This doesn't make it a review because I didn't do a deep dive, but it gives me a better understanding of the game than your standard First Impressions. Today, we're looking at a game that came out on Steam earlier today called Hades. According to Steam, you defy the god of the dead as you hack and slash your way out of the underworld in this roguelike dungeon crawler, from the creators of Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre. Now, before we go any further, I'd like to take a moment and talk to you about something very serious. Each year, millions and millions of YouTubers start and fail their channels in just the first year. This is due to a lack of likes, comments, and subscriptions. Millions of YouTubers are forced to go without money, fame, or friends. With just 2 seconds of your time, you can click on the like button or the subscribe button. In doing so, you will save millions of YouTubers and give them the fame, the friends, and the wealthy lifestyle they would otherwise have died without. So please, give a moment of your time and subscribe to a small YouTuber today. Okay, enough pandering and enough of that sappy music. Now we get into the game. I played Hades for about an hour and a half. I would have kept going, but then realized I needed to write this stupid script and try to get a video out. The only reason why people watch me right now is because I can put these videos out so fast, and that's not my fault. But with the millions of YouTubers out there trying to get noticed, it makes it harder for smaller channels like mine who barely have a fan base. So, Hades. It's out on early access, selling for $20 right now, made by Supergiant Games. You play as some guy. His name is too unfamiliar and too unused for me to remember, so let's just call him Jack. You play as Jack, who is the son of Hades. He doesn't want to be in the underworld anymore, and so he wants to leave. Hades won't let him, so he has to force his way out by fighting through the many different levels of the underworld as he tries to claw his way up to Olympus with the help of other Olympian gods. Why? I have no idea. The game doesn't really say. Just that he wants to leave because he's bored or something, and the other gods want to help him because he's good looking, I guess. That's the story in a nutshell. And this is how I'd like more early access games to release. I get a lot of crap from people telling me that it's an early access so there's more to come, and trying to use that as an excuse. It's not an excuse, and thanks to Hades, I can now add another game onto my list of games with early access releases that play and feel phenomenal. Hades is indeed a hack and slash roguelike dungeon crawler in every sense of the words, but it's top-down like Diablo or Pillars of Eternity. But make no mistake, this game is not as slow as those ones are. This is a fast-paced combat game that forces you to have fast reflexes and a good head on your shoulders if you hope to get anywhere. Now this isn't my type of game. I normally don't play games like this. I normally don't like them. It's not in my particular genre of games that I tend to enjoy, so keep that in mind as we go further. As always, we're going to go into the good and the bad with this game, but if you want to know if this game is worth your money or not, you'll have to wait till the end to find out. And you have to watch the rest of the video too. Otherwise, you might think that this game is perfect for you after the first 5 minutes, skip to the end, and then come up with a decision, only somewhere in the middle was some information that ruins the game for you, and then you're going to come back to me and complain. So pay attention, because we're going to start this off with the bad. So the first thing with the bad is that the game is a little bit buggy, but it's early access, and with such a smooth release, I can give it a pass on this. You know, it's small things, just sometimes the hits don't detect, or sometimes when you try to dodge and you timed it perfectly, you're still going to get hit. But it never crashed on me, and it never froze or bugged out on me. The next thing is the level designs. While they are creative and interesting, they repeat the same levels too frequently for my tastes. I do wish they had some more variety mixed in there. Now, for those of you out there who played longer, yes, I know there are different sections that come with different level designs. I know. I'm talking about in each section, the different types of levels are limited and often repeated. This isn't necessarily the worst thing ever since they do offer different sections with different style maps, but it still needs to be said. After that comes the weapons. Some are clearly better than others, and you'll find yourself preferring to use this one because it's easier and it works better and it's smoother. There's a lack of variety. After you've played for an hour and a half like I did, you've unlocked all the weapons, and now you're just stuck with them for the rest of the game. I wish there was more variety with these weapons, and along that vein of thought, I wish there were more animations for using them. It's just the same standard animation over and over again for your character, depending on what weapon you are using. This can make it a little bit boring, but also easy to understand your weapon and use it to the best of your ability. The enemies are next. While I do notice and appreciate the large variety of enemies, they're all kind of sent at you in the first section of the game, and after that, they're just kind of colored differently and have different abilities, but the enemies remain basically the same. Now, I hope that further down the line, in further sections, there will be more of a variety, but for what I've played, they pretty much all look the same, but sometimes act differently. And, of course, there is no tutorial. Because of course not. I'm afraid I have no choice but to already come at this game frustrated and already subtract 1 point from it simply for that. I'm sick and tired of games without a tutorial and the need to be added in. From now on, it is an unforgivable sin. No game, whether it's indie or AAA, will be spared a sin for not including a tutorial. But, besides all that, I can now get on to the good. As mundane and repetitive as the combat can be sometimes, it is still fun and enjoyable. I found myself quickly getting addicted to the gameplay as I pushed further and further into the game, and even though I say it is mundane and repetitive, it's got multiple varieties. You have a casting spell, a main attack, and a special attack, and they only ever change slightly based on upgrades you get, so watching the same move over and over again would get a little frustrating if you weren't so focused on dodging and slaying your enemies, or dodging the multiple traps, or trying to lure your enemies into the multiple traps that are set about each map. It's a good balance, in my opinion, which is why I put this in the good section. The music is badass. I love the background music as you are fighting some mini-bosses and throughout your experience as a whole. It's rock, which I love, and it fits the theme perfectly, and it fills you with the perfect feeling of atmosphere for this type. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Here, just watch it and look it for yourself. And the other sounds are pretty good too. The sound of using your bow, smashing enemies with your sword, dodging, the monsters, the flames and crumbling ruins. It's all done very well. The game has a similar style to Don't Die Minerva. You progress and progress and progress, but whenever you happen to die, which you will since healing items are very, very scarce, you'll have to go all the way back to the beginning and start all over again. But just like in Minerva, you gain resources and collectibles which even if you die, they stay with you. And by using these, you can make your character more powerful and unlock new skills and passive abilities, all of which help you stay alive longer. Not only that, but your continued playing over and over helps you get better at playing the game. In other words, just because each time you die you have to start over, it's not the end. In fact, I found myself getting pushed to want to keep trying and get further and further into the game, rather than getting frustrated. But unlike Minerva, this game gives you several different types of collectible items which help you in a variety of ways. Even a kind of pointless one, gemstones, which is mostly used to decorate and customize your room and the Palace of Hades, but hey, it's fun and interesting and overall nice. The art style is great for what it's trying to do here. I love it and I think it works perfectly for this game. The animations from the enemies are spot on, and just the visuals as a whole are just interesting, well done, and pleasing to look at. The game is stable and smooth. I need to add this one just because it's early access. Its voice acting is pretty good too. I was surprised to find any, and what I did find was interesting and sounded pretty spot on. Like I said, the voice acting is not common, but when I did hear it, I believed that whoever was talking to me was that person. So, it was good. The story is very vague and simple, but that's okay. This game isn't meant to be an RPG or a heavy story-driven game. It's just a hack and slash. To be honest, I'm surprised they put as much story and dialogue as they did in this game, which is why it's going in the positives. And the game is challenging. It's not going to go easy on you, and it won't show you any mercy. It's tough, but in a fun, engaging way. And that's the positive. Even as tough as it is, and as hard as it gets later on, you're still going to find yourself wanting to keep going and keep playing. In other words, it's challenging and engaging, and enjoyable. So, to be honest, I really enjoyed this game. Even with all the negatives I mentioned earlier, I still really enjoyed it. I found myself immersed, thanks to the well-written and well-acted protagonist, and I found myself driven to want to keep pushing forward and get deeper and deeper into this dungeon. There was just enough story to get me hooked, but not so much that it would ruin the flow of the game. I want to know what happens if I go further, and even though it will only last, a minute of dialogue, I'm still interested, and I still want to see what happens. And that's clever writing, that's keeping the mystery, that's keeping it, just mysterious enough that it keeps you curious, so you want to keep pushing but not distracting from what the overall theme of the game is, which is dungeon crawling hack and slash. And as I said earlier, I don't normally play games like this. They just aren't my type. I normally avoid these or just don't have any fun with them. Yet I will not be getting a refund for this one. I still just want to keep playing and pushing further and further into the game. This is what I'm talking about when playing all those other shitty indie early access games. This game, even though it's not my type of game, still got me hooked and makes me want to keep playing. Be aware of what kind of game this is. I think you should all try it out. I think you should all go check this game out and give it a chance. But just remember that it is an action-based hack and slash at its core. So don't come into it expecting something different. But it is fun, and it is engaging, and it can get very addictive. But I highly recommend checking it out, even if it's not something you normally play. Hell, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going right back to playing the game so I can beat my older record. I managed to get through the first level of the second section before dying. I don't know if I'm going to have to do the first section all over again or not, but I'm going to find out soon. So yeah, this game is worth it, and it's tons of fun, so go check it out. Oh, and I almost forgot, I got 2 games when I bought this. I got another game called MiAh for free. I don't know anything about it, but after playing this one, I'm kind of thinking about going and trying that one out too. Now, right now, Hades is on sale for $20, which I think is the perfect amount to spend on this game. Its original price is $25, which I think might just be a little bit too much, maybe a little bit too greedy, game developers. So please lower it. I hope they lower it permanently to $20. But even so, it's more reason for you to go and pick it up now, so you only spend $20 on it rather than $25 on it. I don't know how long the sale is going on for, but since the game came out earlier today and I'm getting this video out a little bit later than today, it should still be there though. So go check it out. So if this is your kind of game, if you're looking for a hack and slash adventure where you just want to be challenged and slay random monsters just for the sake of doing it, man, this game is right up your alley. But if you're looking for something that's got story or deep dialogue or an inventory system or whatever, this isn't that type of game, but even so, I encourage you to go try it. The main protagonist is funny and clever in like a smart aleck kind of way, and it's fun, it's funny, it's well written, it's well acted, it's engaging, and like I said, I don't normally like these kind of games, so even if you don't normally like these type of games, I would still recommend you go and try it out. At least try it out for an hour and 45 minutes, and after that, if you still don't like it, if you still don't want to keep playing, if it's still not your kind of thing, you can get a refund, but I still at least encourage you to go try it out. So, in conclusion, I mean, the game isn't perfect, but it is a lot of fun, and it is addicting. And I highly recommend going out and playing it, and I really hope that you do, and I really hope that you enjoy it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I helped some of you come up with a decision. Maybe I helped some of you open your eyes to a new genre or to a new game or something that could end up becoming special to you or just becoming a nice little guilty pleasure of yours, like a big FPS guy who never plays games like this, but then you play it, and you find out you love it, you want to hide it from your other FPS buddies. I mean, I get you, buddy, I get you. But either way, I just hope I helped some of you out there. So I hope to see you guys on my next venture as well. So until then, I bid you farewell.